I was fortunate enough to catch an early access screening of the new PlayStation movie Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is based on a true story, based on the real life race car driver who started off by playing the video game. It's a very interesting underdog story that is very well told cinematically, and trust me, I will be drooling during the cinematics portion of this video. But in terms of the story, it is very engaging. I really like the pacing of it, although the first half is a bit of a snooze, but once it gets to the actual like race car driving of it all, oh, it gets so good. Just so good. Truly a top 3 racing movie for me. Behind Speed Racer and Ford versus Ferrari. Those two are just slightly better for obvious reasons. But the story is pretty solid. I'll give it a Hot Pocket score here. Now, let's get to the real thing that makes this movie so fantastic. Like, amazing. The visuals, the way they interpret, the way they film their racing sequences, the music selection, just everything. It's so visually stunning and engaging. Like, the main character, Jan, when he is in the beginning of the movie, he's like creating his custom car in Gran Turismo, and as he's doing that, he like the visuals just pop out and show like the car specs in like a wireframe design, like he's swapping through the like the menus have expanded into 3 dimensions. There is a scene at the end that when it happened, me and my buddy who was there with me when we were watching, we just looked at each other and goes, that was badass. The racing sequences are phenomenal. They really build up the emotion and they get you with that hard pumping adrenaline with how it's shot. It is fantastically shot. I think that is the strongest point of this movie, how it is shot, how it's framed, the visual effects, the ambiance of it all. It makes it a true cinematic experience. And so for cinematics, I have to give it a very, very solid hand grenade score with how explosive it was. It was truly a breathtaking, jaw-dropping experience for me personally. The directing, as mentioned, the shot composition, the directing was probably the strongest part of this film. I really enjoyed what Neil Blomkamp did with this film. It was very engaging, and the way he kept the interest in the racing and how he filmed these race set pieces really makes me want him to direct a Speed Racer movie. I don't know how many times I need to say this, but I need a new Speed Racer movie. I am desperate. I will crowdfund it if I must. Like, Speed Racer is just, it's gone dormant for too long. He must be let out of his shell. Tangent over. But directing, I'll give it a solid hand grenade score as well. The acting is way more emotional than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting this high level of emotion from the cast, as I didn't expect it to have so many emotional beats that it needed to hit. I thought it was just going to be a fun little underdog story, but it does go through it. There are ups and downs, and the downs are down and the ups are up. The best way to put it. I really enjoyed David Harbour's performance in this film. Him and Orlando Bloom have a great chemistry with their characters and their interactions, that it was very fun to watch those two bounce off of each other with little quips and stuff. I really enjoyed those character interactions. And Djimon Hounsou has a great starring role as the father figure who is like unsure of how to show his fatherly love. I really enjoy that. And of course, Archie Madekwe does deserve some pretty good praise for doing a good job in the film. I really enjoyed his performance as well. It is a very engaging film. I really enjoyed everything about it, like acting, directing, cinematically. And truly a cinematic experience. I'll give it a hand grenade score here as well. Next up, my expectations and experience. As I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I wasn't really expecting much. I was expecting a fun racing movie, and I did get that for the back half of the film. I did really enjoy the beginning as well, like parts of the first half, where it's the training montage to see who will qualify from the GT Academy for Nissan. How is this going to translate? How are these gamers going to translate into the real thing? I like the drama of it all. Or I like most of the aspects of the drama of it all. Some of it is a little lame, and it's kind of stupid, honestly. It's like race car drivers wanting Gran Turismo or F1 or any of those video games to fail is like saying, yeah, I, as a football player, want FIFA to fail. Or, if you don't understand that one, I, as a football player, want Madden to fail, or whatever. It's like the same thing, and like, not many people are going into football from FIFA or Madden. Like, it just, let people have their games. Gran Turismo was just an overall great time and experience at the movies. I truly think that the cinematic experience probably would have been better with a few more people in the audience. The theater was pretty empty, probably due to the fact that I don't think anyone knew that this screening was happening, and only people who really wanted to see Gran Turismo would even know about it. But it's a fun ride. I'll give it a hand grenade score there too. So, in conclusion, this is a certified hand grenade movie. I strongly suggest checking it out once it enters the official wide release. And it's a fun ride overall. I'm really excited to potentially double feature that with Ford versus Ferrari. I think that will be the make or break of how well this film holds up. If it can be like a Ford versus Ferrari super pseudo sequel that's like the Grand Kid. I don't know. So, leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment down below if you're planning on checking it out, or if you also managed to get into an early access screening. And subscribe if you haven't already. And other than that, I'll leave you guys to it.